Galatasaray having a 3-goal lead before facing Juventus away. What kind of mentality should they go in with? Should we defend or should we attack? And it is many ways to, for example, defend in a low block or with possession or whatever. But before we talk about that, let's talk about Juventus and their latest game and what state they are in right now. Juventus lost 2-0 against Como at home. Como is a good game with Fabregas as their coach, but it was not a good game by Juventus. As you see here, they played 3-4-2-1, and Coop Miners, who played like an attacking midfielder or almost like a striker, he pressed as a striker sometimes, plays center back in this game, and he has played some games as center backs as well, but he was very weak in this game, for example. Juventus struggled, and the first goal they conceded, it was a mistake by McKennie. Okay, he lost the ball on the right side, but we talked about Juventus fluid style where every player is in different positions, and when McKennie lost the ball there, what I noticed was that Cambiasso, for example, was almost like a striker. And that's something, you can praise them for when Cambiasso is playing McKennie from the other wing back inside alone with the goalkeeper and whatever. But it is a huge risk on that. And that was that Cambiasso was so high up that he couldn't come back on the counter, and Como attacked on that side, and it was 1 versus 1 with Coop Miners, and Coop Miners is not the best in those situations. And of course, Di Gregorio had a huge mistake on that goal as well. But that's a bit about their playing style. I think it sums it up a bit, that where Cambiasso was totally in another position, Thuram and Locatelli was deep. It's just so weird team. When it works, it's fantastic, but when it doesn't work, we can talk about these situations. So, and you also saw that Bremer, for example, is so important for Juventus because their pace in defend, the counter, you just saw it on the counter on the second goal from the corner Juventus had, and Como scored on the counter there, that they are not the quickest team in the world, especially not the 11 they used with Coop Miners, Gatti, Kelly behind. They are not as fast as McKennie and Cambiasso are not fast wingbacks, for example. Locatelli and Thuram is very slow. So every time Juventus created or looked dangerous was, of course, when Kenan had the ball. He tried to do something, struggled a bit, but when Kenan has the ball, it can happen something big there. Openda came alone with the goalkeeper and missed the ball. Should have scored there, of course. Openda, coming from Leipzig, is a very, very quick player, and Leipzig is known for getting very quick players to their teams. Miretti got changed out after 45 minutes and Conceição came in. Juventus are not in a good state right now. That's clear, of course. How should they start against us? Kenan has a small injury, but he trained alone. Bremer has trained alone, but they are really trying to get them into the game. Cambiasso and Cabal, their left wing backs, are suspended. So how are Juventus going to play? I'm not totally sure, but I tried to put up an 11, and maybe I'm totally out of it here. Jonathan David came in. But I think they are going to play something like this, maybe. Because people will say, yeah, but Kostic, is he not going to play left back? But from what I have seen, he has not played almost anything under Spalletti, so I'm not quite sure if he's going to play. And his little test against us was very weak when he came in against Galatasaray. Kelly has played almost 100 games as a left back, so I think he can finally play there for them, and I think that's something they are going to try. If Bremer is gonna reach the game, of course. And then Kalulu as right back, he didn't play because he was suspended, and Gatti as center back. After that, I think they're going to play something like this, where Jonathan David are coming in, while McKennie is behind him again. When they have played like this formation, where they have that striker, they often press with Jonathan David, Kenan, and Conceição as the three up front there. Then McKennie sometimes goes as a wing back, actually, helping the right center back or the right back. But I think they're going to play something like this if Bremer and Kenan, of course, we're not sure if they're... I think they're going to be available for the game. And it's a very important game for Spalletti because they're not in a good run right now. And if he wants to keep the job, it is very important, if you are not getting through, that you are showing something that the fans can believe in for the rest of the season. So yeah, this is about Juventus. Let's talk about Galatasaray. I have seen some 11 people are talking about. The one is with Lemina, and Galatasaray also coming from a game where we lost 2-0, not a good experience. Did some rotation, but yeah, in overall it was a very weak game. A bit expected when you're having this huge euphoria in Europe. But this is the 11 people are talking about that I have seen, where Yunus is going out and Lemina is coming in, and Gabriel Sara is going as that number 10. If we are going for this 11, then the high pressure, I talked in my analyze video after the game, if I watched that, I talked about Yunus Akgün. He was very weak with the choices on the ball. He was very weak against Konyaspor. But the thing he did very, very well was the pressure on Locatelli. He didn't let him breathe whatsoever, and he won the ball many times. Unfortunately, he did some very bad choices. I'm not talking about that, but in the pressure in overall, Yunus was very, very important when we're going high. With Gabriel Sara, it is not the same. Gabriel Sara is not the type that is good in that high pressure. So I'm curious if this is going to be the 11. What our game style will be then. Maybe we are going for counters. Maybe we are going to control the game more. But going in that extreme high pressure Okan Hoxha likes, I'm not sure if that's the smartest thing to do with Gabriel Sara. Gabriel Sara will even struggle against Locatelli. Locatelli is a fantastic player if he gets space. But to be tight on him as well, I can imagine that Locatelli just going to turn him around, for example. And Gabriel Sara with the ball as well is not the best in this position. We have seen that so many times. Maybe we're going for a 4-3-3 or... But yeah, this formation. The thing here is that if you have a player like Lemina, is that you can go more for counters if you are winning those balls. And you can start a counter like we did against Bodø/Glimt, where Lemina did some fantastic things, where he won the ball alone and we scored our first, it was 1-0 goal if I'm not totally wrong. Because Juventus needs to attack for sure, and therefore they will give a lot of space behind the defense. So maybe this is going to be it. That's, what most reporters are telling. Another thing can be this one, where Leroy Sané is playing and not Lemina. Lemina was weak against Konyaspor, but when he has focus, he has very, very good Lemina. So maybe Sané is going to play, maybe Yunus as well, but Yunus after Konya game, after Juventus game with the ball, I think it is time for him to rest. But it is not many players like Yunus Akgün, unfortunately, in our team, who is good to take the ball and receive the ball in the final third behind their midfielders and the defense lines, where Gabriel Sara and Davinson Sanchez found Jonas many times. But you can also play like this. I'm not sure how Leroy Sané is in that pressure. He is the player who has won the ball most, I think, of our attackers. But that's when he's tracking back as a winger, winning the ball from the fullbacks or the wingers when they are not noticing it. Maybe he's going to do that fantastic against Locatelli. Other than that, if you are playing like this, maybe you can try to go for that high pressure and not that controlling the game as we maybe would have seen in another formation with Lemina, Torreira and Gabriel Sara, where we are taking down the tempo and defending with the ball. Maybe here you are defending without the ball and going in a high pressure. We will not see Galatasaray go in a low block from the start, and I don't think that's correct either, because then you're showing this mindset that we are happy with this and then Juventus will attack. And if you're then considering one goal, then the fans will, start to believe. And the one thing Galatasaray should do is to kill that belief straight away by showing. You don't necessarily need to score, but by showing that our game plan, you can't easily score here. So maybe this, I don't know, it's going to be very difficult for Okan Hoxha. Maybe Singo should play right back. He was not he was good as a center back against Konyaspor, but he had his 50-50s. I expected more from him in that game against Konyaspor defensively, but I don't think Okan Hoxha will break that defensive line, because he has so much to lose, if you are breaking that. When they won 5-2 against Juventus, yes, Salah did a mistake on the second goal against Konyaspor, but I'm not sure. I would like to see Singo soon in that right back spot, but Salah are playing fantastic, like he did against Juventus at least. I think he was amazing in that game. So, and Pinheiro, the referee, the Portuguese referee who was the referee when we lost 4-0 against AZ Alkmaar, I don't think that was not the main reason why we lost the game, but yeah, anyway, I'm not sure if it is anything to talk about that. But yeah, Galatasaray just straight away need to kill that belief. And we need to remember that Juventus are in a very difficult situation as well in the league, in the Champions League right now. So they have almost nothing to lose either in this game, and that's a bit dangerous situation, I think, where we have everything to lose. So, but again, if you are coming in with confidence and just showing your game from the beginning, then I think this will be a fun night. Otherwise, yeah, I can't wait for this game, and I'm curious what you guys think about this game. The 11s, maybe none of those 11s I put on will be in the actual lineups, but yeah, it's very difficult for both teams to actually say how they are going to play right now because of injuries and because of the form of the players and so on. But yeah, if you like this kind of content, please hit the like button, subscribe button, and comment down below what you think about the game and the starting 11s. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.